Am I the asshole I can't breathe around my wife's cat? My wife has been begging for me to let her get a cat for months. She has even tried post on Facebook for our friends and family to peer pressure me to cave in and let her get a cat. I am allergic to pet hair. Cat, dog, rabbit, all of them. Well, our neighbor comes knocking on our door, and puts a 3-month-old kitten in wife's arms. And now we have a cat in our small house that I am allergic to. I can't breathe through my nose, and have to take breaks chewing my food just to breathe through my mouth. I can't smell, and my eyes are constantly watery. She just tells me to take allergy medicine, which I've tried multiple, and none of them have worked. Still runny and stuffy nose in my own home. I just want to rehome the cat so I can have my health back. Meanwhile, she thinks I am being an asshole for wanting to get rid of the cat we just got. I know I shouldn't have agreed to getting the cat. So am I the asshole for wanting to go back on my decision so I can breathe in my house again? Did you make a decision to live with a cat? Or did your wife engineer a situation that bypassed your prior no and forced you to live with a cat? You are not the asshole for refusing to be bulldozed into living with a cat, but that doesn't solve your root problem that your wife cares about you so little that she made you live with a cat even though you can't breathe properly. Not the asshole. I adore cats but my partner is deathly allergic. My solution is to go to cat cafes or play with my friends' cats. Because of how allergic they are, I always bring a special bag just for cat clothing. I stop by a gym on the way home, use a pet lint roller brush on the car, stick the clothes I wore inside the bag and zip it fully, then shower and put on fresh clothes. The bag remains outside until it is full, at which point it goes to a laundromat to be washed separately. Because I love my partner more than I love cats. It sounds like your wife does not. Not the asshole, and frankly I'd move out if she's unwilling to accept that you have a major health issue over it. It's a situation where she can only have you, or the cat, and if she chooses the cat, you have to walk. This doesn't even cover how much that house will need to be cleaned before you can safely occupy it again. Not the asshole. I have an issue that sometimes prevents me from breathing through my nose and it is awful. I never realized just how awful it would be until I experienced it. It is absolutely not okay to pressure you to live like that in your own home even temporarily. To do so for the lifetime of the cat is insane. For the people saying you're the asshole because you agreed, what if it were sex instead? We know pressuring someone to consent to sex isn't real consent and it's a shitty fucked up thing to do. She has not only spent months pressuring Op to consent, she enlisted friends and family to add to the pressure to make a decision about their personal health they didn't want to make. That's premium grade asshole behavior. She's the asshole for caring more about a cat than her husband's health. Also, you didn't really agree to have a cat, you got bulldozed into it. Neighbor came over and handed her a kitten, lol. Sounds either she engineered the situation or this is fake. I like cats. Really sucks that you can't have one. But you can't, and that's the end of it. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for lying to my fiancé about my family's house? I'm from an Arab country, and I'm really shaken up after what happened with my ex-fiancé. I need to know if I'm the one at fault here. In my culture, appearances matter a lot. My father was embarrassed to admit that our family house is rented, even though we actually own several other properties. Because of this, he insisted that I say our house is ours, owned. I felt uncomfortable, but I went along with it. Later, my fiancé found out the truth. He confronted me in the car, asking directly if the house is really ours. I felt so ashamed and couldn't even answer. I just cried silently while he kept pushing me for an answer. I ended up leaving the car and crying in the streets. He came after me, hugged me, and told me it was fine and that we could talk in the car again. I went back with him, but I still couldn't explain myself properly. On the way back, he started getting angry again about how he found out. I got frustrated and told him to just drop me off so I could go home alone. That's when he snapped. He yelled at me, "Get the F out. Get lost," to my D, and forced me out of the car. He even shouted again when I left the door open. This completely shocked me. It was the first time he ever talked to me like that. I walked away crying in the streets, feeling humiliated and broken. Am I the asshole for this? I feel it's not his business what my family house is. Not the asshole, and in a strange way your father actually did you a favor. You now know what type of man your ex is. Don't let him talk himself back into your life because you deserve to be treated better. The house story was not yours to tell and you made a promise. Not the asshole. You are absolutely not the asshole here. You were just trying to honor what your dad said. The way your boyfriend, who I assume is now your ex, treated you as a deal killer. You should move on. Either way, not the asshole. You're right, it's not his business what your family house is, but that does not mean you or your dad should lie about it. He is absolutely 100% right to be upset with that. You should have just told your dad that you didn't want to lie to your fiancé. That being said, your ex-fiancé's reaction is way out of proportion and it sounds like you might have dodged a bullet. Take a lesson from this experience and do not lie like this in the future. Not the asshole. Your father is. So is your fiancé. You should know that keeping like secrets like this always backfires. You and your life partner should not keep secrets from each other. Your father should not have put you in the position to keep a secret like this. Going forward, you need to decide what your values are and how you are going to live by them. Your father insisted you lie. You lied. When directly asked, you couldn't even say the truth. Your fiancé probably overreacted, but he just found out you've been lying to him, and then you couldn't even admit it. The fact that you are unable to speak to him about it when directly asked is alarming. I couldn't imagine marrying someone if we couldn't openly and clearly communicate with each other. I know in a lot of cultures, marrying into the right family is a huge deal with the parents of the bride and groom. So he may be taking this as a huge betrayal of him and his parents. He's going to have to tell them. Don't build relationships on lies. Not the asshole. Your father shouldn't have asked you to lie. But most importantly, your fiancé shouldn't have gotten this angry, especially since your family's living arrangement is none of his business. All he needed to state was that he was disappointed that you lied to him. No need for shouting or cursing. Am I the asshole for refusing to accept my convict brother? I write this here as this has been a stressful week and I needed some guidance. A little bit of background. I'm a 38-year-old man. In 2019, I was working in healthcare. That's when my father got kidney failure. I worked full-time during the COVID years while taking care of my father. I was not alone. I had my mother and my younger brother. My father died in 2023. For years before that and after that, my older brother opted to spend his time with drugs. He neglected his parents, his wife and 4 kids. He got arrested for abusing drugs and got fired. Served his time for a little while and when got released, he carried on his ways. Ever absent, completely neglecting every shred of responsibility he had. Even at my father's funeral, he just attended the burial and disappeared. I had to quit my job, moved in with my mother to take care of her, my 2 living grandparents, in their 80s, and took responsibility for the older brother's kids and wife. The wife is a diagnosed schizophrenic, so that was a handful as well. Schools and hospitals were my outings. No social life. Fully dedicated as a caretaker. In 2024, my brother cooks up a scheme where he would smuggle contraband to a neighboring country. For his ruse, he will take his wife and young daughter as cover. He even tried to persuade my mother, but she refused to accompany him on this shopping trip. He got found out at the border. I had to go through many hurdles to convince the officials that the wife and child had nothing to do with it, and I was successful. I managed to get them released. He was charged and sentenced to 2 years. Which brings us to now. He got an early release. We only found out because some anonymous person called and told us that the older brother was missing for 24 hours and then showed up. He found God. My mother swayed, telling us to embrace this returned prodigal son. I did not. Over the years, I have voiced my opinion, which basically comes down to that if he is on fire, I won't piss on him. That if he tells me the sky is blue, I would call him a liar. My younger brother told him years ago that he is dead to him. Despite this, I said to my mother that if he ever seeks forgiveness, then he should make up for all that time lost, to his only surviving parent, to his sick wife, to his neglected children. Then we will see. There would be no open arms just because he said he mended his ways. For this past week, the extended family embraced him fully. So did my mother. His kids are on edge. I can see it on their faces. He had one interaction with me personally where he wanted to borrow the car. I told him show me his license. He doesn't have it. Still my mother took the keys and gave it to him. I knew I'm not getting through. So I retreated. I stopped interacting with this entire lot. There are few glaring actions that I have no space to detail that show me that this is all bull. I can detail them if anyone wants to know. Am I the asshole? He found God, not you. The Christian thing to do would be to turn the other cheek. Personally, I'm of more of a, just because Jesus forgives you doesn't mean I do, persuasion. You owe him nothing but the faintest courtesy, and even that you owe to your mother, not him. Even if his conversion is genuine and he spends the rest of his life rescuing puppies and feeding orphans, you still are under no obligation to forgive him. And even if you do forgive him, you have no obligation to have a relationship with him. Not the asshole. If the car is yours, and he has taken it without your permission, I think you need to start by trying to contact him and have written proof, e.g. text message, that he doesn't have your permission to use your car and that if it's not returned in the next 30 minutes per hour, that you'll need to contact the police. And then follow through and contact the police. I would be worried that you could be liable somehow if the car is used in illegal activity or in an accident. Not the asshole, but protect yourself every which way. Time for you to move out. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, walk away. Tell them you're done. They choose him. They can have him. You're not the asshole. You've been carrying an incredible amount of responsibility for years, taking care of your father, your mother, grandparents, and even your older brother's family when he refused to step up. That's already emotionally and physically exhausting. Your older brother has repeatedly shown he cannot be trusted and continues to act recklessly, and you've seen the consequences of his choices firsthand. It's completely reasonable for you to set boundaries and protect yourself and your energy. Your skepticism isn't about being unforgiving for the sake of it. It's about not letting someone with a pattern of destructive behavior manipulate or harm you or others again. You've already been extremely patient and responsible while he's repeatedly failed his obligations. Not the asshole, and please, for the love of Bob, tell the kids they don't have to forgive him either. I am sure the family is making them feel terrible, and one sane adult could mean everything to their mental health. Am I the asshole for not controlling my grief? My dog, best friend of the 18+ years, died this morning, and naturally I am a hot mess. I took the day off work and went to a luncheon my parents were hosting at their insistence just to not be alone at home, and I couldn't stop crying because it was less than 3 hours after my dog died. My mom yelled at me that I need to snap out of it and stop being a Debbie Downer because nobody wants to be around someone exuding negative energy. I just got up and left because I couldn't even, and I had a text from my mom saying that I am being very rude and immature by leaving instead of dealing with your emotions like a man. Am I the asshole for being unable to control my grief? 3 hours? Not the asshole. Your mother is in the wrong. Crying over a dog you had for 18 years is perfectly normal. Your mother sucks. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You are dealing with your emotions like a man. I mean, men deal with emotions in many different ways, right? You're doing fine, and your mother is wrong. You do not need to snap out of it. Don't follow your mother's advice, follow mine instead, carrot. Which is, do what feels right. Grieve as you see fit. Your parents, especially your mom, are severe Oz. You are not the asshole. The day I had to put my cat to sleep, I sobbed on the phone to my mom for ages, after she had already taken me and my furry angel to the animal hospital at 6 a.m., and both my parents were deeply supportive. Losing a beloved animal is a very deep, very painful loss, and the grief that stems from it is raw and real. We are often closer to our animals than most humans in our life. They are our daily life. I'm so sorry for the loss of your dog. Truly, truly sorry, not fake sorry like your parents. Calling you out on one of the worst days of your life is abhorrent and disgraceful. Give them space for a long while, I would say. Take care. Not the asshole, and your mom's pushing toxic masculinity is disgusting. I'd block her. At least for now. She's clearly not supportive. I've lost 3 dogs in the last 2 years. Most recently one at the end of May. There's still times grief hits me suddenly. Grief isn't linear, nor is it quick. Go at your own pace. I'm sorry for your loss. Your mom is ta. I very suddenly lost a beloved cat not that long ago, and I was a mess for days. Even a friend who has never had a pet supported me in my grief. The fact that your mom couldn't says a whole lot about her. None of it good.